Drew, talk to me about when it would be time to not worry about attribution.
Yeah. So I think not worrying about attribution, if small companies, if you're too small, you really don't need to worry about attribution too much. So, like, for example, I'm a small company and a one person company. I'm not really worrying about attribution too much. Even though I'm the attribution company, like, I'm not worried about it because I just don't have enough volume to care. Well, it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't have enough volume of leads or deals or ways that people can engage with marketing that it makes it difficult for me to know where my deals are coming from. Like, I can tell you right now where 95% of my deals come from. It's real easy. But as you scale, that becomes more difficult. When it starts becoming more and more difficult, that's when you need to start getting into attribution. But when you're a small company and you know you have three sources of deals, it's like you're okay. You can leave it alone. You're fine. You're good with first touch, which is like all you're going to need when you're that small.
I see this a lot in data for websites. I look at Google Analytics all the time for clients. And when they're starting out, they don't have that much traffic and they're dying to make decisions based on data that is so low, it's not going to be statistically significant anyway. So is
Yeah.
that's similar, right? With attribution?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you just don't have the volume of data, then like attribution's still not going to be very, very useful for you because attribution is trying to look at things in aggregate and at the macro level. And if you just, and some organizations don't have enough data for there to be a macro level, right? Don't overcomplicate things. Like when you're small and you don't have that much data and you don't have that many ways to engage with people, just put a lead source in your database and move on because that's going to be more than what you need as a just very, very small organization. Like, again, I have three sources of leads. Three. I don't need attribution. I need to put my lead sources in and we're good. Now, as soon as I grow to a certain scale that now have 10 lead sources or that I onboard a marketing automation system and I'm starting to email folks and I'm going out and doing events, now everything's getting more complicated, right? And as I scale and get more complicated, that's where my need for attribution really starts getting more clear and more distinct because things are getting complicated and I can't just rely on a lead source because I have like 10 different ways of interacting with somebody that aren't even lead sources. So now I have to get multi-touch. So it's just, when you're that small and you have that little niche, it's everything's right there in front of you. You don't need a marketing attribution system. You're overcomplicating things.
So it sounds like it should be a very natural flow and natural complication over time as you grow. Don't force
Yeah,
it.
it's a maturity process, it's a maturity curve. You start out small, you don't need complex data. Now and then as you grow, you start seeing the need, you start asking different questions of the data, and as you start asking different questions of the data, you need different types of data to answer the questions. And so it's a very natural process when you start asking different questions of the data.
That's brilliant. That's a really good soundbite, by the way. That was love it.
Awesome, awesome.
Great.